Good Thursday morning, and thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet, the voice you know with the news you trust studio, sponsored by BASF and Veltima Fungicide. Proven number one for the toughest corn diseases with long-lasting residual when you need to be confident your fungicide will perform. I'm Dusty Sonnenberg reporting. Under cloudy skies, we've had on and off rain showers this morning. Currently 62 degrees on the barn thermometer. Powered by soy biodiesel, I'm going to be making my way to Circleville, Ohio, and the Pickaway County Fair. That broadcast thanks to Lice Mercantile. Taking a look at what's making agricultural headlines at OhioAgNet.com, a combination of feel-good stories and ones that may frustrate you. You can take your pick. Gunnar Lee picks fresh corn every day before heading home to harvest other vegetables, says goodbye to his wife and son, and stocks the self-serve wagon, then heads to his full-time job. The 25-year-olds did not grow up expecting to build a career in agriculture, but Gunnar and Lexi Lee are growing Lee Farms from the ground up near Wilmington. You can read more about their inspiring story today at OhioAgNet.com. We also have a great video up right now from yesterday's Feeding Farmers event in Morrow County at the Leonard family farm. Now, on the other hand, if you're looking for an article that may make you scratch your head and wonder, Doc Sanders has an article up about data centers. And Eric Tipton, a Fayette County farmer and currently president of the Ohio Corn and Wheat Growers Association, shares an opinion piece talking about something very important in agriculture, especially with row crops, that is fertilizer. Taking a look at both the price and supply. All this as well as the latest in ag, weather, and markets online today at OhioAgNet.com. And a reminder, today's news feed was delivered to you by Eberts Field Seeds, delivering proven local seed performance to Ohio farmers. It's time to start planting Eberts. Call us at 937-473-2521 or visit us online at ebertseeds.com. That's EBBERTS seeds.com. It's time now for our weekly update from the Ohio Soybean Council and your soybean checkoff. Joining me today is Mike Heffelfinger. Mike is a member of the board of the Ohio Soybean Council. Today he shares about some of the committees he's served on and some of the success stories.
I've been on communication education. I was on research for a few years, and now I'm on demand committee.
When it comes to the research, what are some of the big projects that you've seen come through and that have really been success stories?
Some of the new uses that we've come up with over the years is the Rough Max product that you spray on roofs on homes or garages and that, and it adds extended life to the shingles that's on the roof. That's been a major win for us. One of the new ones that's being pushed more so now is the soy foam that the fire departments are being asked to consider using. Safer for the environment when you're dealing with a unfortunate situation with fires and that, whether it's a home or an automobile or truck accident and that. And a lot of the stuff that they're currently using is a little more unsafe for the environment, where the soy foam that they demonstrated actually last year at Farm Science is safer for the environment. And then another one I want to point out is the biodiesel fuel on that.
Yeah.
We have had great success with that over the years, and sometimes it gets glossed over. Sometimes that in the northeast part of the country, especially in the wintertime, there is a tremendous amount of soy-based fuel used for home heating up in that area. That I served on it's no longer called the National Biodiesel Board, but Clean Fuels Alliance, I believe.
Yep. Yeah.
And they had tremendous relationships built with some of those distributors up in the northeast part of the country. And a lot of those folks were more than happy to start experimenting with higher volumes of soy biofuel mixed in with the home heating. They were very cooperative people. I was always impressed with that group.
And this update brought to you by the Ohio Soybean Council and your soybean checkoff. Let's get a check now of your Thursday morning weather forecast. This weather update brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance. You can learn more online at seedconsultants.com.
Partly to mostly sunny skies for a good chunk of today. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Quick forecast update for you. We're still looking at clouds increasing in northwest Ohio late afternoon, evening. Scattered showers developing overnight, sliding southeastward. Not big totals, but I can also tell you the rain wants to linger through the entire day tomorrow now. I think we can see anywhere from a tenth to half an inch there. Big thunderstorms over a large part of Ohio, especially the southern two-thirds, as we move from Friday night through Saturday. I'm Ryan Martin. Scattered showers lingering through the Buckeye State today. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Quick forecast update for you. By no means is everybody on the hook for showers today, but I think we end up with about 70% coverage if you include this evening and into the early part of the overnight. Right now we're looking at anywhere from a tenth to half an inch, so again, not big totals, but there's moisture around. We are watching a monster storm complex try and exit out of the Central Plains late tonight into tomorrow, and that's going to race eastward. Eventually, it brings that scattered shower action back to southwestern parts of the state tomorrow late afternoon, evening, and then some strong thunderstorms can rip in here after midnight through Saturday morning. Will they still be severe? Probably not, but we'll have to keep an eye open. Moisture lingers through Saturday afternoon, then dries up. We are perfect on Sunday. Warmer, more humid, and then next week, all very muggy. I'm Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more after this.
Ohio farmers, we know summer means long days in the field and plenty of work still to do. And the Ohio AgNet wants to bring lunch to your farm. The Feeding Farmers contest is back this summer, and we'll be choosing farms across Ohio for a visit from the Ohio AgNet, along with free lunch for your farm, family, and crew. Get entered today at ohioagnet.com/feedingfarmers. Feeding Farmers is brought to you by Ag Revolution, Paradise Energy Solutions, Tempty, and the Ohio AgNet.
Let's check in now with Joe Everett as he has an update on a new biofuels productivity report.
A new report was released by S&P Global Energy that shows how biofuels boost agricultural productivity. Chip Bowling, the Vice President of U.S. Farmers and Ranchers in Action, talked about why the report is so important.
So over the next 25 years, global populations are expected to grow at a slowing rate. Demand for staple foods and traditional fuels is projected to stabilize or decline. Yet at the same time, modern farming practices will make every acre of cropland more productive. Without those new markets, supply will outpace demand, a trend that is already impacting farmers. And just last year, U.S. experienced another record-breaking harvest. I know that on my farm, I had the best crops I ever had. Again, extending the largest ever surplus of grains and oilseeds. Meanwhile, my input costs are too high, commodity prices are too low, and that is not sustainable for investment. But biofuels represent a uniquely powerful solution, one that can create a long-term, market-driven demand that rewards farmers for modern practices while revitalizing rural economies. But to get there, we need to expand markets for biofuels. And the S&P Global Survey report offers a data-driven roadmap for U.S. farmers like me to supply a growing share of the 940 billion-gallon global liquid fuel market, including marine and aviation fuels.
Bowling also talked about the future of agriculture and if the U.S. can successfully open new markets for biofuels.
According to the latest U.S. Census data, the farm sector lost 209,000 farms and 58 million acres from 2002 to 2022. Biofuels can help reverse that trend, restoring long-term profitability to American farmers and unlocking investment in rural communities. In the U.S. alone, strong biofuel demand would drive investment in yield-enhancing technologies, including advanced seeds, precision agriculture, and regenerative practices. S&P Global Energy projects that the U.S. corn yields could grow at approximately 1.6% annually through 2050, enabling nearly 50% more production without expanding acreage.
If the U.S. does expand biofuel production, what will that do to the food supply?
The data shows that stronger biofuel markets help strengthen food security. In part, that's because new demand provides the incentive to maintain farmland and equipment. But biofuel expansion also increases the availability of dry distillers grains and soybean meal, supporting livestock production and moderating both feed and food costs. In fact, when we look out to 2050, a high-growth scenario for biofuels would simultaneously increase food and feed supplies by 45% compared to baseline scenarios. The reverse is also true. Without new demand, U.S. corn growers would cultivate roughly 31% fewer acres by 2050, and that's the equivalent to halting production on land mass the size of North Carolina. That would be devastating to the economy, but it'd also make us more vulnerable to supply shocks and famine.
So where can farmers go to find more information?
Go to fuelingagriculture.com for more information or contact U.S. Farmers and Ranchers in Action. We put the full report online along with fact sheets, charts, and other essential reading for farm advocates.
Again, that was Chip Bowling of the U.S. Farmers and Ranchers in Action. Reporting for the Ohio AgNet, I'm Joe Everett.
Thanks, Joe. In other ag news, the White House yesterday asked Congress to pass a supplemental funding package that includes a request for $11.1 billion for farmers and calls for Congress to pass year-round E15. Now, the White House Office of Management and Budget sent a request for $87.6 billion in supplemental funding to House Speaker Mike Johnson. The lion's share of that request, $67.1 billion, was for the War Department. Now, in the letter, though, President Donald Trump and his staff requested $10 billion in temporary economic assistance for row and specialty crops planted in crop year 2026. An additional $1.1 billion was requested specifically for farmers in Florida to rebound from the devastating losses that the result of crippling storms this past winter. Now, the aid request comes after Senators has indicated they were looking at providing as much as $17 billion in economic aid to farmers. Senate Ag Committee Chairman John Boozman did not include such aid in his farm bill package that was released on Tuesday, but applauded Trump for the request. I've been calling for emergency assistance to help producers manage this uncertainty, and this proposal is an important step to providing that, Boozman said. I look forward to working with my colleagues to ensure we deliver the resources required to keep our farmers farming. Scott Metzger, an Ohio farmer and president of the American Soybean Association, also stated that the American Soybean Association appreciates that the president is addressing, quote, the economic headwinds farmers are facing. It's no secret that farm country is struggling, and this temporary economic support will go a long way to provide farmers with economic stability as we look forward to the harvest season. The $10 billion in economic aid for row crop farmers comes after the USDA earlier this year created the $11 billion Farmer Bridge Assistance Program for commodity growers and also announced a $1.6 billion in aid for the specialty crop farmers. Now, Trump's request included calling on Congress to pass year-round E15 and pressing for some policy changes. The White House stated that passing year-round E15 is, quote, an urgent and needed policy change that would expand consumer choice, support domestic fuel production, and provide additional flexibility in fuel markets. The House passed a standalone E15 bill on a bipartisan 218 to 203 vote in mid-May, but the Senate has yet to take any action. E15 language was not included in the Senate version of the Farm Bill that was introduced earlier this week. Biofuels groups such as Renewable Fuels Association and Growth Energy, looking for any sign of traction in the Senate, immediately raised the White House request and called on the Senate to take action. Stay tuned. We'll be back to take a look at your markets after this.
Looking for heavy equipment but don't know where to buy? Purple Wave Auction has you covered. Always online and always no reserve. It's your destination for construction or ag equipment ready to work. We even sell semis, trailers, and fleet equipment for your operation. Best part? It's free to join. Head to purplewave.com. That's purplewave.com. Sign up for a free account and start bidding today. Purple Wave Auction, the easiest and most straightforward way to buy and sell equipment.
Let's take a look at what's impacting the grain markets. Today's market analysis is brought to you by the Louis Dreyfus Company. Excited to bring a brand new soybean crush facility to Upper Sandusky, Ohio. Learn more about marketing your soybeans with LDC at 574-566-2113.
Corn and beans finishing a weaker on Wednesday. Wheat reversed its early day gains. Let's take a look at what happened in the marketplace yesterday. Not a big news day overall, as the market just couldn't find significant footing to move higher. Beans ended up down about 6 to 8 cents on the day. Corn down several pennies as well. Both of those markets came off overnight moves to the upside. Wheat markets were higher through most of the day, but could not hold it into the close. The forecast calls for extreme heat and dryness over a large part of growing areas from late this month through at least the 1st to 3rd of July. President Trump said yesterday Iran is going to secure $500 million worth of U.S. goods. However, nobody knows, well, it's been speculated what the goods are, but time will tell whether it's anything significant on the row crop side. Ag covers a lot, you know. I'm Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. Let's take a look at how your markets closed on Wednesday, brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance. You can learn more online at seedconsultants.com. Well, July corn closed down 2 3/4 cents, and December corn was down 2 1/2. July soybeans closed the day down 8 1/4 cents, with November new crop beans down 6 3/4. July Kansas City wheat was down a penny, while July Chicago wheat was down a penny, and July Minneapolis wheat down 3 3/4 cents. Turning now to the overnight trade, July corn is down 2 3/4 cents at $4.04 1/4 cents. December new crop corn down 2 1/4 at $4.32 1/2. July soybeans are trading down 2 3/4 cents at $11.06, with November new crop beans down 3 1/2 cents at $11.31 1/2, and wheat for July currently unchanged at $5.85 3/4 cents. You're listening to the Ohio AgNet.